All right, welcome back. Don't forget that the show is interactive, and we like to hear from you throughout the show. So use the hashtag Breakfast Daily for us to hear what you're thinking if you're watching us on social media streams. And of course, you can use the WhatsApp line as well. The WhatsApp line is 0204-447-033 for us to hear what it is that you are thinking about any of the conversations that we're having here on air. Now, we're going to go to the northern region, and we're going to have, there's a report brought to us by our colleague, Diana Ingwon, and the NEDCo has been mobilizing to collect all the outstanding debts that people owe. Now, there's water shortage that is looming ahead, okay, in the northern region as the revenue collection process has been taking place. And let's find out a bit more from this report.
The Northern Electricity Distribution Company, NEDCo, on Monday initiated the second phase of its revenue mobilization exercise aimed at recovering debts from customers. In the first phase conducted 2 months ago, the company disconnected several major institutions due to unpaid bills. However, the recovery fell short of the target, with only close to 60 million cedis out of the intended 500 million cedis being received. Osmani Aludiba Ayuba, the managing director of NEDCo, revealed in an interview that discussions are underway with debtors, primarily government institutions, to establish a settlement plan for clearing all arrears. Despite recovering approximately 60 million cedis during the first phase, the company is determined to address the outstanding debts.
We saw that as a success because in these 500 million Ghana cedis were collections that we were also expecting to take from the MDAs, but the MDAs did not make good those monies. There are high-level discussions on how to settle the MDAs, and we believe that if that one comes in, we believe that we would have achieved our target. The target for the second phase is 100 million Ghana cedis, and this is over a period of, say, 2 weeks.
The second phase of the revenue mobilization exercise began on Monday, and the team proceeded to Dalun, where the Ghana Water Treatment Plant is located, to cut off the power supply. This treatment plant serves as the sole source of water supply for residents of Tamale and its surrounding areas. The disconnection of power to the plant raises concerns about a potential water crisis if the power is not restored. Elvis Deniyoko, the area manager for NEDCo, emphasized in an interview that this action was necessary to enable the company to recover the owed deficits.
As part of our revenue mobilization exercise, which we started somewhere last month, I think we are in the phase 2. And as part of the exercise, we need to visit some state institutions to demand payment. We did that, and we are not hearing anything from Ghana Water. So that is why we came here this morning to engage them. We engaged the management at the headworks here. They couldn't tell us anything, so we decided that we will take off the power, and we are open for them to come to the office for us to continue discussion. We hope that when they come, we can agree on something meaningful, so that we'll do the needful. As at April 2023, their bill is about 39,753,000 plus. So, but we are yet to process the May bill. So we know that that one will take the net bill to 40 million plus for only northern area. That's northern area. But here, the headworks here is owing 35 million plus. 35 million Ghana cedis plus. We have to also do our bit to make sure that we also be in operations. So we need to also supply reliable and quality supply to the hospitals so that they will be able to also carry out their operations. And if we don't do this, we will go down. And I think that there's the need for us to all take on our responsibilities to make sure that everybody in every state institutions will do his bit to make sure that we'll all be in operation.
However, it has also become apparent that the exercise has revealed gaps in service delivery. The utility company has assured the public that such issues will be addressed promptly.
We have also identified a number of issues as we went around. Those were not financial in nature, but there were things that opened our eyes to so many things on the ground. Number of customers who were not in our system were identified. Number of illegal customers were also identified. We've also realized that we also need to also improve on our service delivery. So these were some non-financial benefits added to the financial one.
All right, so that's a report brought to you by our colleague Diana Ingwan, and she's our Northern Regional Correspondent. Now, Chris, this whole thing, first of all, I feel that the ECG NEDCo revenue mobilization is critically important.
Yes.
Right? So many systems and plans to develop and everything else have all been held back because there was no money, right? Look at how much money ECG collected in the initial duration when they collected, okay? I mean, billions. You see, my issue is this. If we know that there's debt, people like the other day, the ECG manager was talking, he was saying that there's something on your itemized, like your monthly expenditure.
Sure.
There's something called electricity.
Exactly.
Why is it that when you get there, you've bought food, you've bought whatever you want
Everything.
to buy. Then when it comes to electricity, then you are defaulting.
You shelf it.
People say, oh, the economy is hard. I said, but the economy is
But
hard.
you're using it.
You are still using it.
You're still using it.
So anybody who takes something that's not theirs and doesn't pay for it, we have a description for the person.
Oh, come on.
Or
I don't want to say what you're thinking. Is it what
no, seriously. So I'm just saying that, listen, everybody's got to pay what they've got to pay. And if you're not willing to pay, don't use or minimize your usage, you see. And so we have our colleague and correspondent, Diana Ingwan, on the line. Diana, good morning.
Good morning.
Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you.
Now, Diana, so how grave is the situation? I mean, I know that if the way we've seen it in Accra is a similar thing that's happening in the northern region now with NEDCo. They are going around disconnecting, and they are very serious about it. Is there any negotiation that may be happening that will give the water company in the north some sort of reprieve or an opportunity to function for a while without creating another mess for the people of Tamale?
Right. So currently, the Ghana Water Company has no alternative because that is the main treatment plant that applies water to the Tamale residents and surroundings like Saviti, Solong, Kumbungu.
Yeah.
So with the disconnecting at the treatment plant, it means that if the substations do not have water stored already in the reservoirs, we will not be getting water running through our tap. However, as of yesterday in the evening, even though Ghana Water Company will not speak on record, we understand they are preparing search at the head office for NEDCo.
Okay.
So hopefully by close of day, according to the information we picked up from Ghana Water, NEDCo should receive a certain amount. And if they are satisfied with that, they will be going there to restore power. But we are yet to hear from NEDCo if they have been communicated to about this search and whether they will restore power anytime soon.
Right.
Now, so do you believe from where you sit right now that water will be cut, or you feel that based on what you've heard, they will pay on time so that there's no water shortage?
Well, based on what I picked up yesterday, if anything to go by, it means power will be restored today.
Okay. All right. And are residents having to resort to other means of fetching water as you know, or
Yeah,
that?
so currently, they are not really seeing the impact because as of last night, there were still some areas that had water flowing through their taps. So if this should continue, let's say from today to tomorrow, those areas who are on the main line will not be having water run through their taps, and they will have to resort to other means. And the other means will include boreholes or dugouts.
Okay. Now, I don't know whether Tamale has a similar layout in terms of the water infrastructure as we have in Accra and other cities, where there are reservoirs that store water so that in case of emergencies, they open these ones and allow the water to flow to people's homes. Do you have something like that in Tamale?
I cannot say that for sure. What I do is there are water supply stands that some services to if sources also take water from Ghana water.
Okay.
So if currently those reservoirs are not filled with water, even the tanker drivers will not get to it.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for bringing us this update. We appreciate your time. Thank you very much, Diana. All right, so that's our colleague, Diana Ingwan, bringing us an update on the situation in Tamale. And we're hoping that the Ghana Water is able to make some payments to the NEDCo, and so that this situation is forestalled. As she said last night, some areas still had water, you know. Of course, when the water is cut, it's not automatic that everything goes
everything
off
just
at
goes
once.
off at once.
Water stored in reservoirs that run out, you know. So hopefully that is, hopefully we can be, I would like us to raise the ECG, the NEDCo people on the line to find out what it is that will make them happy to turn on the power.
Yeah, the kind of negotiation that they might have to turn on the power.
Yeah, to turn on
but
the power.
for me, like, the biggest question is, how can Ghana Water be owing the electricity company?
Okay, so
why I'm asking that is because they also go around collecting, you know, bills from
but the question
people.
is
so
that
why are you not paying your bills?
No, but the question is that are they charging enough to cover? I don't know. Have you noticed? Have you noticed how electricity shot up recently?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the rationale was that even though we're not paying enough.
Okay.
Pay the PURC's arrangement. We're not paying enough, right? So one day, and I felt it big time recently. So when they said they were going to do the upward adjustment a few weeks ago, one day, I mean, in my mind it was there because we had reviewed it in the newspaper. So I had bought electricity, and usually I don't buy like huge amounts. You know, I buy a little bit,
moderate
and then
amount,
just manage it. But that week, I had bought, I think, about 250 cedis on my prepaid meter. And then a few days later, I was just checking. I was like, I think maybe it was less than 2 days later. I was checking.
Less than 2 days?
Less than 2 days later, I was checking on my app, and I realized that I was down to about like 20 something. I was like, what happened? Where's my electricity? What happened? So I was panicking. Then I went to the office to find out. And apparently, because of the upward review, there were charges that were put on people's accounts, and basically, if the money was there, they just took everything. Otherwise, what will happen is that when you go and buy it, they deduct it. So that's actually what happens. So it's reverted to like a reasonably
I
normal
use a postpaid, so I really don't feel what people that use the prepaid.
Yeah, but I don't like postpaid.
Why?
Because you're paying after the fact. You've used it. And if you don't have the money?
No, use it carefully.
Okay.
That's what I do. I'm very, very prudent when it comes to that because I've been in that situation before and it was not fun.
No, I prefer prepaid. If we don't have, we'll sleep in darkness. It's okay. Now, we've been joined by the PRO of the Ghana Water Company, Stanley Marty. Stanley, good morning.
Yes, good morning.
Welcome to Breakfast Daily.
I'm good. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Now, why are you owing the people?
Why are we owing them?
Yes.
Yes, we are owing, and that is what also been going around collecting our money from people.
Okay.
The system is not too good. Okay, so it's everywhere. I mean, we are owing our suppliers. We are owing the other utilities and all that. They are also owing us.
Yeah. Okay.
But they have gone ahead to disconnect us. So what else can we do?
Okay.
No, formally, we used to have a platform where we offset our bills, okay, and then everything we expected. But it's like now things are not going that way. Everybody wants his money.
Yeah.
The government also set up the ESLA so that we could also use that in offsetting our bills, and things have been moving smoothly.
Yeah.
But in the last few months, where everybody has been wild on revenue mobilization, everybody is ignoring everything and collecting this money because everybody wants to see cash.
Okay.
So we have not been that hard on them because they are sister agencies, but they are being hard on us.
Yeah, so I'm wondering why.
We won't retaliate in that same vein, but we'll still resort to diplomacy.
Oh, Stanley,
Ensure that
Stanley, you are being very gentle and diplomatic towards the person has slapped you. Are you turning the other cheek? Why are you turning the other cheek? Shouldn't you do eye for eye?
No, we won't do that. Why would we do that? We are sister agents. Why would we do that? We don't do that.
But they didn't think about that when they were turning off your power.
No, you're thinking to Stanley, Ghana Water.
Yes, I know. I'm saying that they didn't think about it when they were turning off your power.
No, we haven't disconnected them.
Yes, I know. They didn't think about the sister agency thing when they were turning off your power. That's what I'm saying.
Anyway, but this is not the end of the world. We still have more. This thing, we still are working together. So we'll still resort to diplomacy. We have signed some checks yesterday to settle those bills. Not all, no, but we all know our situation. So we are working on that one to ensure that the system comes back to normal.
Yeah.
Now they set down treatment plants in all treatment plants in Ghana, and then the main treatment plant that says Tamale.
Yes.
Okay, so the whole of Tamale will be without water until they reconnect the water. Okay. They also will bring the community, so they're also going to take the grass. But we wouldn't say that because of that we'll just take a look. Okay, like I said yesterday, they planned some text immediately to sort those things out so that they could reconnect. And after this month, they haven't reconnected. So we are still having a discussion with them to see the best way out.
I guess the banks are not open yet.
I think it is not right for them to do that. Okay, because we are also saying we all do administration. We are all helping the system.
Yeah.
So it will be very unfair if you also have to connect to them if they default in bill payment. I think everybody wants to take cash, so we'll grant them that one.
Right, but
like I said,
okay, Stanley, I just wanted to ask, in long term, what measures does the Ghana Water Company have in place to improve financial management to ensure timely payment of these bills for the future?
So like I said, all the utilities, Ghana Water, NEDCo, and all that, we all have a common platform where we offset our bills. Okay, occasionally we meet to offset our bills. We haven't had any problems with that one. The government also set up the ESLA, okay, so that we could also use that in sending our bills as well. All these things are important. And everybody decided that I want to see cash. I want to see, So it's a recent development that has led to this one. But we'll go back to the drawing table and ensure that we have a common platform where we can settle things so that it didn't have to come to the public domain. We are owing us. We are also owing them. And we just have to object, and then that's it. But if you have any means that we have to use in paying, we just use that means in paying, and that's it.
All right.
So for them to disconnect us and to make use out of it, I think it's unfair, and it is not to the left, and it's not to the interest of the nation.
Okay.
So,
all right. So
we'll see how things go.
okay, in case there's an issue of like water shortage, how best are you communicating with the residents of Tamale?
I didn't hear your question very well, please.
I said, in case there's an issue of water shortage, how best are you communicating with the residents about this issue?
No, there's no power. Without power, there's no way we can save water. We can treat it. So there's nothing we can do. Even with our boreholes,
Hello, Stanley. Hello, Stanley. Yeah, we're having some challenges with your line. I don't know if you can position yourself a bit better, but yeah, we're having challenges. All right, we're speaking with Stanley Mate, who is the PRO for Ghana Water Company, and well, he says that they've signed some checks as of yesterday. Of course, the banks haven't opened yet. It's still a few minutes before the banks will open. And most banks open about 8:30. So I guess, NEDCo and ECG, they are very wild. When this thing, people gave them checks. And they said, look, if a check is a guarantee, but they've gone past guarantee stage, let's see the cash. If we don't see the cash, we are not, turning on the power. And so this is basically what is happening, because by now the power should be on if they were going to take their check on face value.
Right. And he said something interesting to me. He said they are also owing them.
Yes.
But they are not going to go head to
I'm
head
wondering
with them.
why though, because you see, for me, the logic would have been, okay, how much do we owe you? How much do you owe us? Let's reconcile the difference.
Exactly.
We cancel it out.
Exactly.
And then whoever owes the extra, now pay up what extra you owe us, right? It's money is money, right? So there's no point in me coming, if you're owing me 5,000 and I'm owing you 2,000, there's no point in me coming to give you the 2,000 if you are owing me 5,000.
Especially for the fact they're sister agencies.
Yes, clear the 2,000 which I'm owing you. Now I'm owing you only 3.
Exactly.
Do you get it? And then let's figure out, or let's agree on how it is I'm going to pay you that extra bit that is left to pay you. I thought that would be the way to go about it. But clearly they've gone a different route to say, you know what, you are on our list of people who are owing us, and we are treating you just like everybody else.
Right.
But Ghana Water has chosen to, look at it from a different perspective and say that
we are not going to be doing the same thing that you did to us.
I think they should do the same thing.
Yeah, that would be nice.
Oh no, I think I don't. You see, no. It's not really about tit for tat. It's more about being pragmatic. With what works on the ground, because unless, of course, what Ghana Water is being owed by NEDCo is a pittance compared to what Ghana Water is owing, then that becomes a basis to make that argument to say that, shut them down.
True.
They can't do anything about it.
They can't do anything about it, exactly.
So anyway.
And which might be the case, actually.
Yeah, I mean, we can only speculate at this point, but from the way things are going, it sounds like that might actually be the case. That yes, they are owing, but it's really not that much.
Right.
Because if it was, it's leverage.
Yeah, but and earlier on you actually talked about, the electricity company increasing their bills a bit.
Yes.
So didn't the water company also do it somewhere in December?
Yes. No, they've been increasing around the same time.
Yeah.
No, there was a December one, I think, and then there was a more recent one.
Exactly.
About 2 months ago, they did another one. Yeah. Some 18% versus something. I mean, it was, it's.
So that means they should all be getting the same amount of money?
No, because I think the ECG's revenue, in terms of the amount that they've raised, the increment, in their tariffs was higher, So, yeah, anyway, we've been joined by the manager of corporate communication, Maxwell Kotoka, who is Corporate Communications Manager for NEDCo. Maxwell, good morning.
Good morning, Dave.
Yes, welcome to Breakfast Daily.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Good morning to your listeners and your viewers as well.
All right. Now, Maxwell, I hear you are also owing Ghana Water. So why have you turned their power off?
Well, thank you for the opportunity, but I'm sure embedded in the question is the answer. If
okay, go ahead.
If we have had the courage and the moral fortitude to disconnect them, we should tell you that what we owe them pales out compared to what they owe us.
Okay. All right. But you see, Stanley was talking to us earlier. Stanley Mate was talking to us earlier. He was saying that we are sister organizations, so there should be a more friendly approach and everything else. Why are you not taking the more friendly approach? Why are you doing this, by force, Takashi type of thing?
Oh, that's a little below the belt. I must say, I don't know whether Stanley is on the line.
He's not at the moment. No.
Okay, because we have a very wonderful personal relationship. Actually, he's my mate.
Okay.
So we are schoolmates.
Okay.
But, on this occasion, I will have to disagree with him on principle.
Okay.
We have had a very cordial relationship. Indeed, we are not oblivious of the fact that without them, we can barely exist. And I'm sure they also know that without us, they can barely exist.
Yeah.
So you would ask yourself why this has not been a regular feature of our operations.
Yeah.
The debt didn't start yesterday.
Okay.
Neither did it start the day before. And so if we have reached this point, it only means that the handshake has gone beyond the elbow.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
And indeed, even before reaching here, we have had a certain arrangement where they are to give us a certain amount on a monthly basis. Which amount was supposed to be a little above their current bill.
Okay.
So that was the plan to gradually ebb away the
debt,
receivables, debt that had piled up. And unfortunately, they have not been able to honor that for a very long time. And so at this point, it's like a baby suckling on the breast of the mother. You may have to bite it a little to remind you that the fluid is not flowing.
I see.
And so even this is still friendly fire. We are expecting them to come so that we can talk and get back to our old ways.
Okay.
So Stanley shouldn't worry at all.
Okay. So, but Stanley says that they sent some checks last night or yesterday evening, but their power is still off. What's up with that? Have you not received it yet? Are you waiting to go to the bank? What's the plan?
Well, like I said, they should come to the table, let's talk. Because if the total indebtedness of water company to us as of April is 63 million Ghana cedi.
53 million.
63, yes.
63 million. As at April.
Sorry?
As at April.
As at April 2023.
Okay, wow.
And my brother says they have issued checks. Moments before this interview, I was informed that yes, they called last night to say a check of 2 million cedis was ready.
Okay.
A check of 2 million out of 63 million was ready. And even the 2 million is less than the agreement we have with them. Because the agreement we have with them is that they should pay 2.5 million every month, which we have defaulted on for a couple of months. And so if at the point where we have disconnected supply to the headworks, you want to make an offer and it is 2 million, then I'm sure your guess is better than mine, what that means.
No, I see your challenge. I see your challenge, really. So for you, it's about negotiation. They should come to the table and bring you something more concrete than what they've done so far.
Let me just amend that a little. It's about negotiations in good faith, backed by action that will lead to a mutual resolution of the matter.
Okay.
All right.
Mutually satisfactory.
Okay. So I just wanted to ask, of course, we know that there are institutions or infrastructures that are critical to us, like hospitals and water plants, treatments, and even schools. Do you give priority to some of these infrastructures when it comes to electricity supply and the payment of bills?
The question again, do we do what?
Do you give priority to some of these infrastructures, especially them being critical infrastructures like hospitals?
My sister, the priority is what has brought us where we are now. The priority is what has brought us where we are now. And so if they owe 63 million Ghana cedis, and we as a company owe our generator, the supplier from whom we get the power, we owe the generator 1.2 billion. You see, so if we continue like this, it's a sensitive institution, may I ask respectfully, is the distributor not a sensitive institution as well?
Yep.
Right.
And so if we don't take these steps, which may in the immediate term have some harsh repercussions, now we will risk getting to a point where even the distributor suffers. And don't forget that today it is water company, at least the other properly described institutions, the other so properly described institutions as critical are functioning. But when it gets to a point where we now begin to suffer the repercussions and we are not able to make the power available, then it is not only one critical institution that will suffer, but all of them.
Right.
And so we think that a stitch in time saves nine.
Right. Okay, so disconnection seems to be the most common course of action when it comes to NEDCo trying to, collect their revenues. But is there any alternative strategy that you can go with apart from disconnection?
Disconnection is not the only alternative. Indeed, it is the last alternative. I have just explained that we have held engagements with them, we have reached agreements with them which have not been honored. And I'm saying that the breach of the agreement didn't start yesterday. So that will tell you that, again, disconnection is not the first option.
Right.
The exercise on which we have carefully labeled mass revenue collection and not disconnection. The idea is to collect the money. We don't gain anything in disconnecting our customers. Indeed, if we disconnect customers, we lose. Because power, once we incur the cost of bringing the power, if we don't sell it, it becomes a loss. Because power is unlike provisions and commodities you can keep and bring to the market the next day. So we can't preserve it. Once we bring it, we must sell it. So if you compel us to disconnect, it means additional loss to us.
Okay.
All right.
All right.
Maxwell, thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Maxwell.
My pleasure.
All right.
My pleasure.
So we've been speaking with the manager of corporate communications with NEDCo, Maxwell Kotoka.